Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to give you 7 eclectic fragrances I wore this week that I think you should know about. So let's jump into it. All right, so welcome back to another fragrance rotation. I hope you guys are all doing good. I hope you had an awesome week. I had an awesome week because I got to wear 7 different broad range of fragrances this week. Everything from fresh stuff to kind of dark, challenging, smoky style fragrances. Some of these were brand new and these were kind of my test wearings that I had for them. So I'm really excited to let you guys know what I wore this week, show you what I got. So without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so kicking things off on Saturday, it was an out of the ordinary type day for your boy because I had to go and get my tattoo sleeve finished. So I had about a 7-8 hour session booked with my tattoo artist. I wanted to wear something that was gonna be pleasant, enjoyable, not too in your face, but something that smelled really, really nice. So I reached for Lattafa Pride's Alamede. Now you can pick this up for about $30 at places like Fragrance Buy. I'm gonna have links down in the description to all the fragrances I talked to today, so go check it out if you wanna check this one out. Awesome fragrance. This one has mandarin, clary sage, pepper, pineapple, leather, and musk. And what you get from this one when it opens up is just a beautiful, fresh, spicy with a touch of sweetness style of aromatics. That clary sage really sings through with this one. That mandarin adds just a touch, a little bit of tartness, a little bit of sweetness, that citrus sort of vibe. The pineapple doesn't stand out as like a pineapple type note, but it does add a little bit of sweetness to it. That pepper gives it a little bit of spiciness to it. And it's just a really gorgeous, light, fresh, aromatic style of opening. And as this kind of develops and dries down, you get a lot more of that leather starts to come through, but it's more of kind of like a soft, suede style of leather. It's not like a punchy in the face cowboy saddle style of leather. Really, really enjoyable. That musk just kind of rounds things out, adds a little bit of a nice base to it. And overall, this is just a fun, fresh, masculine, sort of bold, but not in your face style of fragrance. Crowd pleaser, very versatile. You can wear this across various different seasons, fall, winter, spring, and maybe even to the summer. Awesome fragrance, 30 bucks, steal of a deal. Really impressed with the Lattafa Pride series, and this one is no exception. I think you should be checking it out. It's Lattafa Pride's Alamede. Moving into Sunday, I reached for one of my absolute favorite fragrances. I love this one more and more every single time I wear it. It's Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. Now you can pick this up for about $50 at discounters like Joma Shop, Fragrance Buy, etc., etc. Steal of a deal. It can be a little tricky to find at times, but at the time of recording this video, it was available at both of those shops, and I'm sure you can find it in other places as well. This is just such a sexy, bold, masculine, almost elegant, very inviting, cozy style of fall and winter fragrance. Absolutely love the scent profile in this. It's got some pink pepper, it's got some cinnamon, cardamom, coffee, leather, and tonka that's in this one. Absolutely gorgeous medley of those notes. It has this fresh, spicy, warm, spicy kind of medley to it. That cardamom adds just a touch of sweetness with that spice, and along with that cinnamon. And then you get this beautiful coffee note that mixes with this tonka, adding just kind of this vanillic, coffee, powdery style vibe to it. And then you get this hint around the edges of this nice leather that kind of adds that bold masculinity to it. Absolutely amazing fragrance. I love wearing this one. It's so cozy. You just feel masculine and sexy while you're wearing this one because it just has that vibe. So good. Performance on this is monstrous. 8-10 hours off my skin, not a problem. And this just blasts off for the first 2-3 hours. People are definitely going to smell you. You got to be a little careful with the sprays depending on the situation you're going to be in because this is a beast mode fragrance. One of my favorite in my collection, something I definitely think you should be checking out. It's Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. Moving into the work week on Monday, I was feeling a little weird. I was feeling a little dark. I was feeling a little mysterious. I was feeling a little edgy. And so I reached for something in my collection that would give me that kind of a vibe. And that's Lattafa Mahir Black Edition. Now you can pick this up at discounters for about $22 to $24, and this is a challenging fragrance. This is definitely not like a blind buy style of fragrance. This one is going to kind of test your limits in terms of like what you consider a good fragrance, because this is still in the like department for me. It's not quite in the love, but the more I wear this, the more I kind of appreciate kind of the artistic nature of this. This is a very bold, very smoky, very earthy, challenging style of fragrance. It does fall into the kind of the category of Encre Noir in that sense. It's not the same scent profile as Encre Noir, but in terms of that kind of challenge, that kind of uniqueness to it, that's where Mahir Black Edition falls into. It's got pink pepper, black pepper, saffron, leather, gurjum balsam, some oak moss, tree moss, and this cade note. And this cade note is what really kind of ties everything together and makes this fragrance the challenging, unique fragrance it is. This Cade adds this like very smoky, earthy style of vibe to it, mixed with those spices, mixed with that kind of leatheriness from the saffron, as well as that leather note and that tree moss that adds like an extra layer of that earthiness to it. This comes across super smoky, super bold, super kind of like in your face Halloween style of kind of fragrance. Very, very challenging. I've heard people compare this to like cigarette ashes or like an ashtray kind of idea. And I know that sounds gross for a fragrance. Like, why would you pay money to smell like an ashtray? I can sort of get it. It does have that kind of edge, that kind of vibe. It does have that kind of burnt, sooty sort of feel to it. So this is not going to be, you know, a lady killer. This is probably not a good date night fragrance. This is a fragrance that you wear for you when you're in that kind of a mood, you have that kind of vibe. That's what I was feeling on Monday. That's why I decided to wear this one. Definitely a like, not quite a love yet, but I definitely think it's worth checking out if that sounds like a kind of scent profile you're into. That's Lattafa's Mahir Black Edition. Moving into Tuesday, I wanted to kick things a little bit old school, so I reached for one of the timeless classics in my collection, and that's John Varvatos Vintage. Now you can pick this up for about $30, $40 for a 125 ml presentation, depending if you want a tester or a full presentation. This is a classic style of fragrance. It has that kind of classic, like your grandfather or your father might wear this, but it has that modern edge to it. So guys like in your 30s and your 40s can still definitely pull this off. It has like a uniqueness to it, but still this like familiarity to it as well. It's just a classic kind of wood cypre type of fragrance. It has a little bit of that kind of barbershop edge to it, but it has that kind of masculine woods. Great array of notes, and there is a laundry list of notes in this fragrance as well. Some of the ones that kind of stand out that make this very unique is like some rhubarb, get some fennel, there's some lavender, and then there's like some nice tobacco, some oak moss, some tonka, just to add a little bit of sweetness to it, a little bit of powderiness to it. Comes across very aromatic, a little bit floral at the same time, but it has that wood base to it that kind of tones all that down and just gives it a really nice, clean, aromatic, masculine edge. It's just very well balanced and just a classic style of fragrance. I think it's just a great smelling fragrance that I think all age ranges could appreciate. The younger guys might not appreciate it as much, but I still think they can pull it off. Performance on this is a little bit on the weak side. A lot of John Varvatos fragrances I find a little bit on the watered down side, so I got maybe 5 hours of longevity off this and projection wasn't too great. It maybe pushed out half an arm's length, maybe an arm's length, but not for very long. So more of an intimate fragrance. It's not going to last. You're going to have to reapply this one, but the scent profile on this I really, really enjoy. I think if you like that kind of classy sort of vibe, you might enjoy this one. It's John Varvatos Vintage. Moving into Wednesday, I reached for something that is brand new to my collection, something I've been really eager to wear. This is my test trial with it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It's Lattafa Pride's Winter Trophy Silver. Now you can pick this bad boy up for about $44 at discounters. Again, link down in the description if you want to check it out. This one opens up with a mandarin, some olibanum, it has some lavender, some vanilla, and then the base it has some nice vetiver and some cedarwood. This is a really nice, versatile, crowd-pleasing, fresh, unique style of fragrance. You don't find many kind of like freshy, aromatic, versatile style of fragrances in the Lattafa line. Not many, there are some, but this one kind of stands out from the rest of it. It doesn't have that kind of that oud or that kind of like strong kind of leathers or like any sort of that. This is very fresh, very invigorating, very unique, and very crowd pleasing, and I'm really happy with this one. That olibanum mixes with that mandarin, giving it just a touch of this earthiness to it, a little bit of kind of that incensey smoke, but that mandarin and that vanilla have enough sweetness to it, mixed with that aromatic and clean lavender, sitting on kind of a nice soft wood. Really great combination of notes. It's really well balanced. Everything kind of sings together very nicely, and it's just a crowd pleaser of a fragrance that I'm really happy with. Performance on this, really good. I got 8-10 hours off my skin, no problem on my first wearing, and the projection for the first 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer, was pushing out really good. I did really enjoy the performance on this. I thought it was fantastic. Definitely going to be wearing this a lot more, and I'm definitely going to be doing a full review once I've had a chance to wear this a few more times and really sink my teeth into it. First impression though, really happy with this one. I think you should be checking it out. It's Lattafa Pride's Winter Trophy Silver. Moving into Thursday, I wanted to reach for something that was a little bit on the sexy side, a little bit flirty, but also sort of masculine, a little bit elegant, and that is Franck Olivier's Pure Addiction. Now you can pick this one up for about $26 at discounters, and This is a fairly new addition to my collection. I recently picked this up about a month and a half ago, and I've worn this a handful of times, and I enjoy this more and more every single time I wear it. It's just a very fun, easy to wear, but still kind of sexy, elegant, masculine style of fragrance. Apparently this is kind of an inspired by of Baccarat Rouge 540. I cannot confirm nor deny that is true because I do not own Baccarat Rouge 540, but that's what the people are saying, so you can believe what the people are saying or not. I really enjoy this fragrance. It has a great scent profile. It's got this orange, it's got some saffron, it's got some sweet and spicy florals mixed in there, praline, some amber, along with some woods and some moss, just to give it kind of like a nice earthy base, a nice masculine base to it, but still has that kind of leathery, sweet, floral sort of vibe going through it. And it's just an excellently well blended fragrance. And for $26, it's just an absolute steal of a deal in my opinion. Very warm, very cozy, but also very sweet, very playful at the same time. Performance on this is average. I get about 6 hours off my skin, and the projection for the first hour and a half was pretty good, maybe beyond an arm's length before it did settle back in. So for $26 performance, I'm not going to complain about. The scent profile though is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoy this one. I think you should be checking it out. That's Franck Olivier's Pure Addiction. Moving into Friday, I reached for the last piece of my English Laundry collection. I finally have them all, apparently, and that is English Laundry's Noir Castle. Now, you cannot find this at discounters. This is a new release, and I looked for it at discounters, but you cannot find it. You can get this at retail. I found this at a rack store as part of those kind of like 4 in a box, so 4 different English laundries and for 20 mLs. So I had to pick it up because I needed to get this in my collection. For whatever reason, I decided I need to collect all the English laundry fragrances a long time ago, and I would not stop until I did, and now I've done it, and I don't know what to think about it because here we are. If you want to see me do a video on ranking all the English laundry fragrances, then comment down below, let me know, because I have them all and I may as well do a video if you're interested. This fragrance opens with a green apple and a grapefruit, and it is incredibly sweet. It's very, very youthful, very fun, a little bit on the flirty side, but incredibly fruit sweet. It's that green apple stands way out front of everything else. That grapefruit sits in the back a little bit. There's like a little bit of kind of tart citrus that kind of comes through. There's an aromatic kind of geranium that kind of makes its way through in those mid notes, a little bit of sweet florals, and in the base you have some like sandalwood and a little bit of cedar. You don't pick up on a whole lot of the other notes. Really what you're getting is this fruit sweet apple throughout the entire ride. You get a little bit of the kind of floral come through. It does have like a floral citrusy nature to it sitting on that sandalwood, but the player in this is that sweet apple, and that's what you're gonna get in this fragrance through the duration of the entire fragrance. So if that's something you're into, if you really like those sweet fragrances, those kind of fruity sweet fragrances, this will be something that you might wanna check out. Performance on this was pretty weak. Even for an English laundry, I got about 4, maybe 5 hours longevity before it pretty much just disappeared. Projection wise, it was pretty weak, didn't push out really beyond an arm's length before it settled in and then disappeared. So not my favorite English laundry. The scent profile on this is nice. It's a little too sweet for me, but I think a lot of people who enjoy really sweet fragrances would enjoy it, especially kind of the younger crowd. I think the younger crowd would really be into this kind of a fragrance. Definitely gonna have to reapply it, but it's small enough that you can maybe pack it along. If you catch it in the rack stores, you might want to check it out. That's English Laundry's Noir Castle. And there you have it. That's my weekly rotation of 7 very different styles of fragrances. And I want to hear from you guys. What was one fragrance you wore this week that you were really enjoying? Comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Love to hear what you're into. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.